How's it going, everybody? Niggy D here, coming at you live, man, yet again today with a quick video. I want to read something on Reddit that I read the other day about a dating experience. It was just a question that someone had pondered to the Reddit community on the r/dating advice, and I thought it would be something interesting to talk about. So let's get right into it. So a man was on a date with a lady, ages whatever, we don't worry about that. Location, don't worry about it. And the title was pretty much everything you need to know. So we're just going to read through that real fast, and then we'll just talk about what I think. So I, as the person, canceled a first date because at the time that we were supposed to meet, she said she would be 40 minutes late. Now, a little bit of context that is in a comment was noted that I do believe the original poster did mention something came up. Something unexpected came up was the reasoning. So hypothetical, 6 o'clock p.m. I am to meet somebody at the pub. I go to the pub. And at 6 o'clock sharp, I'm maybe there 5 minutes early. Now, I have nothing with that. That's just me doing my thing. I get there chronically early. I'm there a couple minutes early. I start sipping a brew. 6 o'clock on the nose. Hey, by the way, I'm going to be 40 minutes late. Something came up. How do I feel about that? So I think like you could give benefit of the doubt. Like if you play devil's advocate, like you could say traffic might have been an issue, whatever. But if if I know I'm going to be late somewhere, if I know for a fact that I'm probably going to be a few minutes late, I'll proactively say something a little before that. This gentleman also mentions that it was like a 30-minute drive away that he was going to, so it was like a little bit of a commute. I'm not really going to factor that too much into it. It makes sense, but like at the same time, right? Like, that person's also going to drive X amount of distance. But yeah, I think you're pretty fair. I think you're pretty warranted in doing that. Like you absolutely have to be, right? There's no way that you can't be warranted in saying that. Sorry, I think Audacity's having a stroke. But anyway, we'll worry about that after. So if the audio is only coming on the camera and not from my speakerphone, my microphone, then well, I don't know what to tell you. I reinstalled it and it looks like it's just looping over the same 10 seconds, which is probably going to be a problem. So we'll get to that later. But yeah, so it's just like what do you do? If you were like, I think at 10 to 15 minutes, if I haven't heard from somebody, like about 15 minutes into the date, if I'm sitting there and I haven't heard from you, I'd leave. And that's happened before. But if it's the time of like 6 o'clock on the nose, hey, by the way, I'm going to be X amount of time late. I think 40 minutes is a lot. You need to respect your time and the other person's time. I would just tell them pretty much straight up, hey, listen, like, I've been sitting here. That's a while. Like, I got to sit here just awkwardly. Right? I might pass. I don't think you're necessarily in the wrong for doing it, but I think like just like something that was maybe a little bit more casual would be a little easier. What I mean by that is like if it was an ice cream, you're going out for a beer, like if you're sitting at a restaurant, it's just weird to sit there for like 40 minutes and be like, well, I hope they're showing up. And sometimes they're not going to. They're just actually genuinely not going to show up. So it's a kind of unfortunate. But I don't know. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts and what you guys think of that situation. I think it's interesting, and it is a thought-provoking conversation. But I think the person in question that posted it, I think you're pretty justified. I can't build a world where that wouldn't be reasonable. It's 40 minutes, You're not being a jerk. You're saying, okay, hey, you're letting me know it's going to be 40 minutes. Something unexpected came up. I don't really know what that is. I'm going to head out, right? Perfect. That's what I would do. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I got to figure that out. It's peeing me off, so I got to figure that out. Cheers. Cheers for watching.